Frankie on point, a son of hallowed crown, lining up for his first run this weekend. Looks to have trialled well. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he's a really big horse. When he comes to Hong Kong, nearly 1,300 pounds. So we need to do a lot of things for him and make him a little bit less the weight. And free trial for him. Every trial he keep improve. So the last trial, he trial really good. So we just decide him to race.
Likes his food then. He looks like he's got plenty of gate speed. Have you been happy with those trials?
Yeah. Usually, if you have some gate speed, should be better because I always said the new horse you can go a little bit maybe that fourth should be more easier.
What's been the feedback from Zach after all of those trials on how he's gone?
As I say, the last trial he tried really good and tell me maybe we can decide when will he win again. So Zach give me the day. Okay, so we decide him race on coming Sunday.
He's how's he settled into your stable since arriving here? You mentioned you had to get a bit of weight off him, but he's settled in well.
Yeah, everything's okay. Only a little bit big. I mean the horse.
What about Wednesday night? Far very impressive again. Where's he likely to go to next?
I think we can see the program for next month. Only have one Class 2 1,800 in Happy Valley, 8th of December. So maybe if we not race on this day, maybe to see the next month any for Class 2 60-50. At this moment, we don't know yet.
David, nervous witness last start beaten. No doubt that came as a bit of a shock to you and the team, but what was sort of going through your mind when you saw what was unfolding with him last start?
It was a tough watch, but he holds a record for me. He's the shortest price winner I've ever trained and the shortest price loser I've ever trained. It wasn't pleasant, but we couldn't find anything wrong with him. We've gone over him from head to toe and so have all the vets and everything's normal. So I thought we'd just put it down to a bad day and hopefully he can bounce back on the weekend. When
you're watching a nice horse like he has fail like last time he did, do you sometimes think the worst before you've seen him come back?
Yeah, look, I was, at this time of year, there's a lot of horses bleed in Hong Kong, and I was hoping he didn't bleed, and he didn't, thankfully. And a lot of horses can go sore when they run below par, and he wasn't sore. So he's got as I said earlier, a clean bill of health, and I'm just going to forget about the last run and move forward.
What have you done with him since to prepare him for this weekend's clash?
Look, I let him stretch his legs on Wednesday just to check everything was all right at galloping tempo, and he wanted to go faster and did it really, really well. But he's a fit horse. He's on his fourth run now, so he doesn't need to do a lot on the track.
No Zach Purton riding him this weekend. Caris's. How did that booking come about?
Well, it was funny. Everyone predicted he was going to get 113, so we booked Caris early because obviously the light riders are hard to get. And then, unfortunately for Zach, he got 118, and I'd already booked Caris, so I didn't want to let Caris down because he committed to us early. And Zach will get back on him the next start. It was just one of those things, the way the weights turned out. No one could predict it was going to be like that.
You're taking on one of the only unbeaten horses left here in Hong Kong at the moment in Master 8. He hasn't got experience down the straight, but your guy does. How crucial is that?
Look, I think it's got to be an advantage than a disadvantage, but good horses can cope with a lot of things, and obviously Master 8's very good. It'll be nice to have nervous witness in a race where he won't be favourite. I think Master 8 will probably be favourite with Joe.
He's gone forward in each of his runs. What will you be sort of indicating to Caris this weekend?
Look, we'll just... He's a very fast horse, my horse. He'll cruise up on the pace, but we won't be, from the barrier we've got, we don't have to be as frantic. We'll probably end up on the outside rail, and Joe will be probably coming across to us. So I would say there's another fast horse in it as well, so they might sit behind the obvious leader.
Confidence levels he can bounce back to winning form?
If he's not favourite, I'll be backing him. So that's probably as confident as you can be, isn't it? But yeah, he's in really good shape, and I haven't lost faith in him because he just had one bad day.
Douglas, God of Dragon only arrived in your stable at the back end of last season. He's had 4 runs with you for 2 wins this season. What's been the turning point here?
He's been a difficult horse at the track. He tends to want to overdo things in his gallops, and he's quite a handful, to say the least. But fortunately, you know, I think being at the Olympic stables has given him a different view and different perspective of a few things, and he started to enjoy what he's doing again, and he's got a bit of life back in him.
Yeah, we do see him in the mornings with the track work videos that he wants to get his head up and carry on. Has he mellowed out a fraction?
He has. He's able to go around the small track now controllably and possibly, to say the least, enjoyably. You know, the riders don't complain about riding him anymore. He's pretty much a one-man bandit. One guy rides him, but he does a good job on him. So, you know, when he has to gallop, we do different things and try and keep him away from the big track.
That Happy Valley win last start was something else coming from last. Was that sort of the plan to get him back? Because with the rail, 2,200 metres can be a bit of a shuffle up into the first turn there with those leaders going forward.
Well, yeah, look, I'm not going to take all the credit. The plan was to go back and the plan was to ride the rail, but he got slightly detached further than expected. So, no, it wasn't the plan to go that far back, but it certainly was the plan from that gate not to get competitive early. You know, there's a very short run to that first turn in those 2,200s. So he was always going to go back and save ground and ride for luck.
He's only going to carry very much a light weight in this field on Sunday, back and trip to 2,000 metres. Does he look well suited to this race this time round?
I think so. The weight off the back's going to be a bonus. It's going to give him a bit more time to find his feet, and hopefully Jerry will be a little bit closer than he was last time.
Alexis, Wellington first up at the weekend after bagging a Group 1 victory last year with the Chairman's Sprint Prize. How do you feel he's come back for this campaign?
The horse feels good. Last trial was quite good, impressive. The horse was able to do what he can do. He showed good speed. He was relaxed, and he responded quite well at the end. So I'm very happy.
He's had sort of pretty much a month between trials, trial 1 and trial 2. Did you notice plenty of improvement between those 2 trials?
He's always been quite an easy horse to get fit. Of course, he's a very good horse, so he always gives me a very good feel. He might need that first competition, you know. He might need to run, but he looks good, fresh and happy. His action is good as well, so I'm very happy.
Does barrier 7 make it a little tricky? How do you sort of anticipate the race panning out?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a problem. You know, he's a very good horse. He's very easy to ride. Just need to settle, get him to relax, and give him some comfort. He can finish off the race very well. So just see how it goes.
He obviously has a very good fresh record, but he is carrying that £5 penalty, being a Group 1 winner. Does that potentially make him a little vulnerable first up with some of these up-and-comers?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm just glad to see him back at the competition, and he's such a good horse. So I believe he's going to run a strong race, and I'm looking forward to it and see how it goes.
What about COURIER Wonder in the sprint? How did he pull up after his last start effort?
He seems okay. He didn't take any backward step after that race. He's trialled also, and he's indicated in his trials that he's improved a little bit since his run. So I'd expect him to run a better race.
John, there's obviously a bit of speed in the race with the likes of Computer Patch and Amazing Star and co. Where do you sort of envisage COURIER Wonder being positioned in the run?
Well, I think he'd be in the first 3. One of the other horses might have the speed to lead him, and if that's the case, he'd probably still be up there the first 3 or 4, I'd say.
Quick comment as well on Golden 60. How's his preparation been?
He also okay. Everything's fine.
He galloped on Tuesday morning on the turf. What was the feedback from Vincent?
We're happy with the gallop, and even this morning also he's quite relaxed at the moment, you know.
Do you feel this stage of the season compared to previous seasons he's more forward? Do you have him more forward?
I can't say he's more forward, but he's more mature, you know, and sensible.
John WAIKUKU lining up over 1,600 metres. What did you make of his last start effort where he just ran out of room a little bit late?
Yeah, there was an interesting race where there's a lot of horses that sort of finished in a bunch, and probably it wasn't a race where you get a good guide for the future from. But as far as the health of the horse and the way he's trained since then, his trials and everything like that, he's been good. He doesn't seem to have anything that would be inhibiting his performance, and I think he'd run another good race.
He's trialled twice since that last start effort, so the trials, you've been happy with those?
Yeah, he trials in his own way. He does what he wants to do, but race day he seems to switch on and do his best.
You're meeting, of course, the reigning Horse of the Year Golden 60. How do you expect him to perform this weekend against him?
Well, I don't know anything about Golden 60. He's not my horse,
No.
but Whykuku's. I think he'd run one of his better races. He's probably going to improve again with this start because he's had a long break. He stopped work in April, but I'd expect him to make the next step, and then all being well, he'd probably run improved race on International Day.
Francis, Glorious Dragon going around in the Cup. He's had no luck his last two. How's he pulled up from those two runs so far?
He's okay. Yeah, as you said, he just bad luck in the last two runs. Yeah.
Has his work been good since then?
Yeah, he keep his form.
What was sort of going through your mind in those last couple of runs when he just hasn't been able to get out?
Yeah, honestly, he got a good job, but just unlucky, he can't get out in the straight.
How do you sort of need the race this weekend to be run to best suit his chances, Glorious Dragon?
Oh, I think just the luck. Yeah, his form is good and everything is fine. He also got a good draw this time. Yeah.
Have you got a race for International Day that you're sort of leaning towards, the Cup or the Vase?
I think the same distance, 2,000 metres race. Yeah.
Matthew, it looked a strong effort from Never Too Soon, first up at Happy Valley a couple of weeks ago. How did you rate his first up run coming from last?
He ran pretty well first up, like 1,000 meter. 1,000 meter in Happy Valley definitely too short for him, but he ran quite well. He finished quite strong at the finish, so he quite impressed me.
Were you a little concerned down the back straight when he needed quite a bit of chasing up because he was starting to lose touch with the main part of the field, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he's not 1,000 meter horse. He not even 1,200 meter, still a little bit too short. But I think they got some quality, so he's coming, and now he moved to 13, 1,200. Probably can travel a little bit better, but still, but we still help him finish quite strong. Yeah, so let's see how he handled the distance. And
you've ridden him a fair bit in track work since that last start effort. How do you think he's come on?
Well, his body is good and healthy, so I also expect he will show something.